What's up, everybody? I'm Duke James. Thank you for joining me for a new campaign as the Ottomans. I was thinking about it. Most of EU4 Meiou and Taxes is building up cities. But what are cities? I've been thinking about cities. You know, there's just a lot of pollution there. There's a lot of people. It's crowded. There's a lot of noise. There's some crime in a concentrated area because there's so many people there. Do we even like cities? And to that, I say no. So, that's what this campaign is going to be. We're going to go back to the countryside. We're not going to build cities. There's going to be a little disclaimer there. But we're not focusing on building cities in this campaign. We're going to go back to the countryside, because country living is where it's at. That's where the meat of your country is, the peasant stock. So we're focusing on the rural aspect of Meiou and Taxes, investing in rural things, rural industry, rural infrastructure. We're going to produce a lot of rural goods. It's the idea. So essentially, I'm not going to invest anything in cities, but I mentioned a disclaimer. I'm going to have a couple of cities. So there's going to be 3 cities that I can build up in this campaign as regional capitals, just because there are a lot of limitations. If you completely ignore cities, you're gonna have a rough time with your army force limit and your navy force limit, because you need to produce armaments and naval goods, and then you also just need other products. So I'm gonna have containment zones, which are like 3 cities, which will probably be Constantinople, Cairo, and then my expansion is probably going to be, I'm looking towards the east a lot, so I'll probably conquer a lot of this, and then go up north, and then obviously to the Mamluks, because the overarching goal of this campaign will be to produce 100,000 units of food. And obviously in order to do that, we're going to have to focus a lot in irrigation and rural infrastructure, get a lot of peasants. So we're gonna look, the country should look somewhat like Alexander's country, Macedonian Empire, but it's not going to be exactly that, because I'll probably expand a little bit up here to grab that black earth belt that is Ukraine, because that'll be a lot of food produced up there. And then I'll probably go over here to grab some of this silver and gold mines, because this area is rich with those, so that'll help with the peasants. And I believe they actually have fixed... Yeah, they fixed silver, so silver now produces luxury output, so that is good. I kind of got screwed over on the Brazilian campaign. Couldn't take advantage of Potosi. All that silver, like 800 units of silver, and I couldn't do anything with it because there was no luxury goods production in those provinces, which is where silver and gold make their money from. Not from the actual things, not from the gold or silver, but from the luxury production in the province, so that's good to see. And then the third capital will probably be somewhere in the east, since there's a lot of land over here separating it. So I want to build a capital over there and build a city. Alright, so essentially, I cannot build, I'm not going to put any money into amenities. Pathing, garrisons, and irrigation are, I would say, very obviously rural infrastructure. Harborage is less of it's more of a gray area. Because I wouldn't say a harborage is necessarily an urban building, but harborages are primarily found in cities, so I think the way to work, I'm not going to build harborages unless my communication efficiency is so poor that I'm forced to build them. I think harborages will be a little bit of a gray zone, and then capitals, I'm going to obviously build 3 capitals in my cities, so if I need more capitals, I might build them as needed. I always think I'm going to build more capitals than I actually build in a campaign. It's a building where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have 20 capitals all over my country, and then I only build like 3 capitals in 3 provinces, so I'm not going to really worry about capitals that much. So amenities I'm going to stay away from, obviously, because that is very obviously a urban infrastructure building. So I'm not going to build that, but as you can see, some of my provinces have amenities, and I wanted to do this campaign in 2.5. In 2.5 you could actually destroy buildings. In 3.0 you cannot destroy buildings. Buildings can be destroyed if they decay. So I'm going to just not put any money into amenities in any of my provinces except for the 3 regional capitals, and then if these buildings decay, then that's fine, I'll let them decay. If they don't, then I'll just be forced with them, because I can't really do anything to get rid of that, save getting rid of the province and then conquering it again and looting it, and that's just so convoluted, I'm not even going to bother with that, so that's how that will work. And then I'll probably put like a population goal of maybe like 100 million. So 100,000 units of food, 100 million people. Those are very lofty goals. In my Portugal campaign, I think I was producing 20 to 30,000 units of food at the end of that. And I was conquering... I'd conquered some good food-producing provinces in West Africa, and I was conquering a lot of India, and I was still not producing a whole lot, so... I think 100,000 and 100 million peasants are very lofty goals for the Ottomans. But I think it's achievable with the Mamluks down here, the Fertile Crescent, and the Ukrainian Black Belt up there. So we should definitely get close to those if we can't hit them, hopefully. But I'm going to aim big. Alright, so the Ottomans... Let's see, we have a 76-year-old Sultan, Orhan Gazi Osmanli. He's a 445. He is tolerant. Okay. Interesting. He is proud. And he's a conqueror. -2 monthly war exhaustion, -0.5% yearly army tradition, decay, -10% war score cost from the province, -5 years of separatism, 5% liberty desire. Our heir is Suleiman Osmanli, 444. He's also a conqueror, so the devs definitely want the Ottomans to expand, but I think we all know that Ottomans are supposed to expand pretty far. Our Sultana is aggressive, and she's a 332. See our rivals as of right now: Serbia, Rome, Aden, and Bulgaria. We're losing 7 ducats, but that's probably just because the calculations haven't happened, so I wouldn't worry about that. Our admin techs are 6. We have meritocracy, which is nice. It's nice starting out with meritocracy. The only area in the world besides Asia that starts with meritocracy. And then, yeah, there's 3 institutions that are tied to knowledge: casual literacy, scientific methods, and academia, which is why I'm going to allow myself to have 3 cities that I can build up. Without those, it's going to be very hard to get casual literacy, scientific method, and academia. So, in addition to the other benefits of having those, we start with leadership and quality ideas. Alright, very mill-focused ideas. Our national ideas: Anatolia, some national manpower modifier plus 15%, land force limit modifier plus 15%, manpower recruitment cost -20%, so that's pretty powerful. Manpower recovery speed 20%, yearly legitimacy plus 0.2. The Seljuks, yearly prestige 0.2, core creation cost -10%, Persian influences, material cost for projects -5%, admin efficiency plus 5%, foreign acculturation, tolerance of heathens plus 1, max promoted cultures plus 1, culture conversion resistance -20%. Holy War. Enables Ghazi reinforcements from victory against infidels. Enables Holy War CB on neighboring infidels. War score cost versus other religions -15%. Alright, so we get a free Holy War CB from our national ideas. I believe Evangelical. Yeah, Evangelical gives you that, but we can get that from the start, and we don't have to get Evangelical in order to get a Holy War CB, which is nice. Pretty powerful. And then Heirs to an Empire. Stability increase in enroll negative 10%. Yearly Army Tradition decay negative 0.5%. And Army Tradition from battles plus 25%. Yeah, so obviously the Ottomans are pretty powerful, and these are part of the reason why. I noticed they did get rid of the discipline bonus. There used to be a discipline bonus for Janissaries. I think like 2 or 3%, so they did nerf the Ottomans somewhat. But they're still pretty powerful, especially in the hands of an actual player and not the AI. Our missions pretty much, you know, conquer everything around you. Lots of conquering those missions. Our national decisions, we could form the Turkish Empire. Which actually doesn't require all that much land, really. And that gives cores on those provinces, permanent claims. Permanent claims on Greece, Eastern Balkans, Albania. Okay. We have a decision to move the capital to Rumelia. And for that, you just have to own Constantinople. Oh, you just have to own this province. That's different than Constantinople. Okay, so that's why the AI moves their capital over here. So pretty much the first war of the game, you can conquer everything over here except Constantinople. And then I can just move my capital for 100 admin. And we partially adopt Roman governance, advancing our tax system and our military administration. So this decision gives you reforms. It gives you 3 reforms. Our tax farming right now, our indirect and direct are both 1. Our military administration is, I believe it's this one, is 2. That gives you 3 reforms from 1 decision, from conquering 1 province. And it switches their culture. You lose separatism, you gain cores. Alright. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. Alright, religion-wise, we actually have a lot of provinces that are Orthodox. Discipline. We have exhausted drilling right now. We have no navy. Force limit of 9. Alright, elites. A lot of changes made here. They moved the pie chart, so it's now floating. I believe everything's still the same, though. Resource share, urban property, wealth share, faction influence. Faction influence, I don't know why that even exists, because you can just see faction. You can just see it down here. I guess if you want to look at a nice pie chart, you can do that. Since the last time I played it, they have fixed average non-overseas autonomy, so that's nice. When I was playing the last couple campaigns, this was just a permanent 50%. Didn't actually tell you what your average non-overseas autonomy was, which made it very hard to know if you could do those reforms that are tied to average autonomy, so it's nice that that is fixed. Ours is actually pretty low right now at 22%. Reforms. Looks like most things are at 1. Yeah, so they start off, the Ottomans start off with most of these at 1, which is actually pretty powerful because I think most countries start off at 0, so that's another nice thing about being the Ottomans. The nobility. Nobility have 55% power in our country. The burghers have 20%, the clergy have 26%, and the tribes have 6%. The nobles make 205 ducats, they have 25% of the land, 33% of the farmland. I'll probably be taking a lot of farmland from the nobles. I think for role-playing purposes, I'm going to have a weak nobility. I was thinking about this. I would have done something like the Polish campaign where I'd have a strong nobility, but I don't think the benefits of having a strong nobility really outweighs the benefits of having a weak nobility. Because if you get the nobility all the way weak to where they're just free landholders, then you get massive rural production bonuses. And then I also want to take land because that'll be where I make most of my money, since I'm probably not really going to make that much money from trade. It's going to have to come from land and taxes. So taking property from the nobility I feel like is a must do in order to not go bankrupt, or at least make a decent amount of money. I will try to have a weak burghers, depending on whether or not I can get commercialization from Constantinople. So for role-playing purposes, I'll try to have a weak burghers, assuming I can get commercialization from Constantinople, and I'll probably just have like a middling clergy. Their clergy reforms go from 1 to 3. I believe 1 is the weakest. Church collects no taxes. Yeah, no, 1 is the strongest. If the clergy's reforms are all at 1, then they are the strongest. If they're all at 3, then they are the weakest they can be. So I'll probably bump this down to 2 and just have a middling clergy. If not a powerful clergy. Because if the clergy are powerful, I think they should do investments into education, which the clergy handle rural education. So in order to produce stuff, I might want a stronger clergy. So they'll either be like medium power or strong. The burghers will be weak, and try to make the nobility weak just because I feel like I have to. The burghers themselves have 36% of the share of property, 88% commercial. I'm going to try not to take commerce property this campaign because I don't want that to screw with me like it always does. And then the clergy have 88% of the academic property. Might take academic property from the clergy. I might also just leave that with them because if I want them to invest, them owning academic property is probably better than me taking it. Of course, I could always just invest in that. So, I don't know. Something that I'll just see in the future. Alright, we own actually 45% of the mines, 48% of the forests. Seems like a lot. I wonder if that's just because it hasn't updated yet. Alright, that is the goals and a brief overview of the country. So I'm going to end this part here and pick it up in the next part. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.